Hey everybody, welcome to freshman year with Mr. Kamore and Algebra 1. I can't wait to get started working with you guys, and I'm just here making this video for you so that it eases a lot of your stress with this whole learning online and virtual thing. It's much better in person. I swear I'm a lot more entertaining. You're going to like this class a lot. Even though you may not be the biggest fan of math, I promise you, you will definitely be leaving my class with a different perspective. I made this cheat sheet for you guys to help you through the first week. You'll see here your addition or your plus sign, subtraction, your minus sign, multiplication, which is here, and division right here. Now these fancy words underneath are basically how we're going to define our expression. So what does that mean? Basically, it's something like this. N, I'm going to give a variable of n. Now again, we don't know what n is. N is called a variable because, again, it equals a number or 1, okay? It could be any number. It could be 8, it could be 80,000. We don't know. And that is the bane of our algebra existence for this whole year, is finding out what x is, or what n is in this case. So for the first example, one of the problems that you might encounter would be n increased by 8. For example, I'm going to write it like this. N increased by 8. That's literally it. And don't overthink it. So when you read these equations, n increased by 8, I want you to refer back to this cheat sheet to learn. And look for the sign that you need to put in place of those words. So we said again, n is increased by 8. That will tell us if it's increased, I got to add a plus sign there. Plain and simple. It's that easy, people. N plus 8. That's your answer. Boom, right here. Answer. Okay? That is all I'm asking you to do. And that is literally your first step in algebra. It's that simple. Same thing for subtraction. If I write a problem like this, the difference, give me a hot minute here, the difference between 10 and 5. One could only guess how I'm going to write this one. Don't overlook it, people. If it's the difference, I'm going to plug in a subtraction sign. So my answer would be 10 minus 5. That's the answer. And then for multiplication, times the number or the product of. It's the same thing. The product of 8 and 12. For example, the product of 8 and 12. If I'm looking at my cheat sheet, the product of would be multiplication. This is weird. Multiplication. So then I would just write it like this. 8 times 12. That's my answer. It's really that easy, guys. And again, this video I hope helps. I really am trying my best here to try and get my point across. It's so much easier in person when I could show you. But that is the reason why we're using the Remind app. Feel free to please send me any of your work, any questions, comments, or concerns at any time. I'm up and I'm here to help. Last but not least, though, let's go with our division. Here is our division sign. You can also write division answers as fractions, like 1 over 2, like a fraction. So if you see a problem like this, the quotient of anything 12 and 4, I could write it two different ways. 12 divided by 4, or 12 over 4. Yep, you could even write it like this. And you will see it like this on a lot of the online stuff because my computer cannot do fractions like this. At least I haven't figured it out yet. But please be patient. I will do my best. But that is really how you solve all that we're doing. If you look at the bottom of your sheet as well, you got a whole lot of other information here. Again, x is equal to a number. We don't know that number yet. We're still trying to solve for it. But then you have different places to put your exponents. So this x to the second power, right? Power of 4, that's a power. That's your exponent. We call that x squared, or just squared, when you have your exponent as a 2. For cubed, x cubed. That's what that means. Now again, you don't have to use this terminology, but you will see it on quizzes, and I will be able to throw it in there. So make sure you utilize this sheet. But in case your numbers are not 2 and 3, you call it x to the power of 4, power 5, power 6, power whatever. So if you look here, x 12. Okay? Again, we don't know what x is, but this is the power of 12. Power, oh goodness, sorry, of 12. That should be a W. That is the power of 12. Wow, that I really messed that up. Sorry about that. Power. There you go. Now you can read it. Other than your exponents, you've seen these before. Your less thans looks like an L, and your greater thans, which looks like a Pac-Man. If you take your left hand and you hold it up, it makes an L. You take an L and you make it out of your left hand. If you turn a little sideways, check that out. Less than, less than. And that's what it looks like. That will help you determine between greater than or less than. And then you have stuff like this with lines underneath them, people. That would be called less than or equal to. That line adds that equal to the end of that. So in the end, when you do get an equation like that, be sure to refer to this and make sure that you put your lines underneath those if they're there. PEMDAS, you guys know this, or else you would not be in my class. That's the order of operations. Order of operations. This is also an important key for when we start going into one-step equations, especially with multiplying and dividing. Now, it may sound a little crazy right now, but I will tell you what, you will be more than ready to do it, and you'll even be impressing yourselves by the time you're done with this class. But other than the order of operations, which you should know, remember this, is equal to or is your equal sign. So let me give you an example, okay? 12 increased by 10, I'll just say 12 increased by 1 is 13. Okay, so how would I write that out? Again, if it says is or equal to 13, I'm just going to put an equal sign. So let's piece this all together at the bottom of the page. 12 increased by, which is my plus, if you go up here, right here, increased, I'm going to look there, now I'm going to increase it, plus 1 is, bing, 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 this guy right here is 13. It's just like that, and it's just that simple. Again, the biggest things that I would like you guys to focus on when you are solving these problems, always, always keep your variable or your letter. I'm going to write it as this. Always keep your letter on the left, okay? Always, okay? When you keep it on the left, it makes it so much easier for you to finish what you're doing, and especially if you begin to solve these problems on your own. When your variable's on the right, you'd have to switch the sign, but ignore that. Make sure that your letter is on the left. Otherwise, guys, this is the breakdown of what we're working with this week. I expect everything done by Friday at midnight. And again, please send me any questions or information that you need on Remind app. Have a great day. Do your best. Welcome to high school.